Hello everyone, I'm Ken. Welcome to my channel. Right now, I'm at a 1-bedroom freehold unit at the Holland Village area. Singapore just recently went into a lockdown. Yeah, it's not really a lockdown, but come on, can't dine in. You only can hang out maximum 2 people or visit 2 people. It's kind of like a lockdown. Anyways, this video I wanted to talk about the new camera that I just got. This is the Theta Z1. Previously, I've been using the Theta S, I think, for my videos, for my 360 tours for quite a while. I mean, it's fine, but the quality is really won't be as impressive as this one. And this one was so hard to find, I couldn't get it until a few days ago. And just nice before the lockdown, I got it. So this will help me show my clients' houses during this difficult time for everyone, and just keep on doing virtual viewings and stuff. I'm doing this video to show you all how I kind of do a 360 tour, just so you all can understand or get to know my job better and how it's like. I thought I would do my workflow working with this camera and what I usually do to get my 360 tours up. I did test out the camera and the quality last night, so I have no doubts about quality. You can look at all the reviews online as well. So right now I'll probably talk about the steps I do from taking the photos to getting the final 360 tour up and how it's like. Okay, step 1 to doing up the tour is to take the 360 photos. So I have this camera and I have a tripod which I'm leaning the phone on, so you can't really see, but I'll do a cut scene so you can see how it's like. Is to take the photos. So that's probably the easiest part. Just need to put the tripod and the camera in specific places of the house that you want to showcase the certain angles. Yes, you do have to select the angles well. You don't have to take so many photos and it becomes very tedious, or there's just too many photos to handle. So select strategic spots and just take your photos efficiently. It's good to look at the floor plan beforehand if it's a big unit especially, and just plan where you want to take the photos. Some important parts will be maybe the views wise, like I have a balcony right here, so I'll probably take one or so, because the views of a certain unit is always very important. So step 2, while taking the photos, there are basically 2 options you can get. Do download the Theta app and connect it to the phone. It's quite connect it to the camera is quite straightforward. So there are 2 ways you can do it. I mean, the camera is already so good. If you do leave it in auto setting on the app itself, it works fine. I mean, it works better than most cameras out there. But if you do want to go that step further, which I'm practicing right now, and I watched some YouTube videos last night on it, there are 3 settings. You can go to, instead of auto, you go to manual, and then you can work with 3 settings in a way. One is aperture, one is ISO, and one is shutter speed. So what it does, all these 3 settings, what it does is mainly to make sure that your exposure is just nice. Okay, ISO is sort of like artificial lighting. I don't recommend using it. So usually I try to set it as low as possible. I think it's around 80 or 100. Because if you do too much of artificial lighting, the photos will look very grainy and it's not as high quality. So that being said, preferably you also do your 3D tours during daytime where there's a lot of natural lighting. So you don't have to use the ISO at all. So you don't have to use the ISO at all. But of course, if you're doing night shoots or you have really no choice but to do the tour or photo taking at night, maybe due to timeline or whatever, then maybe you have to bump up the ISO a bit, but try your best not to use it. So aperture is sort of like how big, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a professional photographer, but so far it works for me. So aperture is about how much light is let into the sensor or the lens. So it's basically, let's think of it in the simple terms as letting more light in, more natural light in. So I would rather adjust aperture than to adjust ISO. Last one will be shutter speed. If you are just taking still photos, then it's not really that important, but shutter speed can be set from very 0.0 something of a second to maybe even a few seconds. So what is shutter speed? Basically how fast the shutter closes. So if you take a photo, if it opens and closes very quickly, it captures a certain amount of light and details in the image. The longer the thing, I don't know what thing, but the thing opens, let's say 5 seconds, and the longer it takes to close, more light is let in, more details are let in, and then the pictures will also be brighter. So play around with, my recommendation is just play around with aperture and shutter speed, and do some test photos before you start shooting around the house. Maybe in certain different areas of the house you may have to adjust those two settings up and down a bit, but mainly it's like that. Okay, so once you have taken your photos, you either upload them to your phone or computer directly. And for me, I will use Photoshop to edit and just touch up, make sure the photos for all the lightings, for all the photos match each other. I don't want one photo to be bright and one photo to be dark. So besides adjusting lighting and certain, make sure the light is well balanced out on Photoshop, I also remove certain things like on the walls, like little stickers on the walls, or maybe my wallet is on the table or something like that. I can manually remove it, and of course edit out the camera stand that your 360 Theta is on, your camera is on. And besides that, yeah, so after your photos are all edited, that's step 3 I think. So step 4 will be to choose a program to use. So for me, I will test this current tool out with Matterport and Kula, I think Kulo or Kula, I'm not sure, Kuulo or Kuula, something like that. And because this is my first time working with this new camera, so I'm going to test both out and see which one is the best. So the final step is just to piece the whole tool together, add buttons, captions and whatever, depending on which website or software you choose to use. Yeah, and that's it, your tour is done. Hope that sharing was interesting or it helped some of you all. And definitely there are a lot of more advanced functions or even plugins and stuff like that, but I'm talking about the basic information for those who just want to get started quickly. Then at least we get a strong base or foundation, then we can work or add in more skills from there. Yeah, so right now I'll put up some photos here or here to show you the kind of photos that I took today with the Theta Z1, for you to look at how the quality is like. And as always, if you have any questions at all, feel free to hit me in the comments or contact me directly. I'm always here to help. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again. Bye.